Hello, Floyd, and thank you very much for agreeing with this interview today.
Hello.
We have a couple of questions for you regarding how to decide upon a career in media. Is that right?
Of course.
What is your current job and what does it imply?
I am a consultant in a PR agency called Instinctive Partners, and basically my job is B2B PR, so we're talking about business to business, so it's not really sort of external PR to the general public and to consumers. It's much more within the business environment, so I work with a lot of specialist business publications for food and drink companies, for instance. So.
Is this the job that you were originally chasing after, or did your options change on the way?
Well, I mean, I've had quite a few jobs in PR over the years, and I didn't think I'd end up working in B2B PR because it is often seen as not very glamorous. Everybody wants to do PR that is involving very high-profile brands or high-profile people and companies and celebrities and things like that, but that tends not to be the real bread and butter of a lot of the work that goes on. A lot of it is business to business work and specialist publications and small companies. So it's not glamorous, but it's quite a big area in PR that a lot of people don't really consider.
What about PR in general? Did you know you wanted to work in PR since you were a student, or?
Pretty much, I suppose, yes. I mean, my background was in local newspapers. I did a little bit of writing for the newspaper while I was there, but I mainly worked on the production side of the newspaper. And then really when I went into this course, I actually studied at Coventry University and did the forerunner of this course many years ago. That was when I realised that working in PR would be much more attractive than working in journalism from my perspective, because journalism, particularly in the newspaper journalism, as you'll be aware, is in decline. Newspaper sales are falling, and a lot of the stuff is going online, and there's a lot of different news outlets now compared to newspapers. So PR is more, I think, of a viable career option for more people anyway.
Yeah, that's also, like, it can influence your decision a lot.
Well, of course, you know, I mean, you've got to do what you like doing and what you enjoy if you possibly can, but also you've got to look at where the opportunities are, and especially if you're younger, where the long-term future lies. And the long-term future probably doesn't lie in printed newspapers. I think there'll be printed newspapers around for still a long time to come. There'll be fewer of them and they'll sell fewer copies, but I think they'll be around still for quite a while to come. Who knows, forever, but certainly, you know, you're much more likely to have a longer career, I think, if you're very good at social media and you're obviously good at writing for the web and things like that.
Do you need to take different internships and placements in order to get you started with your career in media?
I didn't, because I'm old. It didn't tend to be the way that things were done then. People did do internships, but it wasn't anything like as widely spread as it is now. There was much more of an organised career path, and there was less need to work for free to get into the business. But now it's a reality, it's a fact of life that's what you have to do. So I'm glad I'm not in your position, really, if I'm perfectly frank with you, because it's a difficult business to get into, and often it's an auction between employers for how little they can get away with paying you and how much they can get you to work for either free or low wages. That's not meant to sound depressing, but that's just a fact. So you probably find that, you know, you will have to work for a little while, either for free or quite sort of like low level of pay before you really get yourself established and then get a proper sort of career going. But that's just the way things are now, unfortunately, but I didn't have to do it.
So you do think that now internships and placements might be really helpful for students, as we need experience to get to...
Definitely, yeah.
Do you think it's important to try different things, like even if you are not interested in a particular media field, should you try that as well? Maybe?
Oh yeah. You never limit your options, because you may think you know what you like doing, but you might actually do something that you think, well, I didn't know I'd be good at this, or I didn't know I'd find this as interesting as I am finding it. So don't limit your options. Basically, if you get an offer to work in a PR company or an advertising agency, even if it's not in the area that you really thought that you wanted to do it. You've got nothing to lose, and you might do it and think, yeah, I was right, I don't like doing that. But equally, you might do it and think, well, you know, actually, I could see myself doing that because it's something I didn't think I would be good at, or I didn't think I'd enjoy, but I do.
Or maybe it's paid pretty well.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, you have got to bear that in mind, very much so, because you're talking about the next sort of 40, 50 years of your working life. So it's got to be something that gives you a reasonable standard of living, but also when you're working as long as that, it's got to be something that you don't dread getting up in the morning to do.
Yeah. So. But do you think if you get it started with one specific career, do you have to do that for your entire life, or can you change your mind?
No, absolutely. Of course you can change your mind. I mean, many years ago, it was much more that you got in a particular area and you stuck to it. You don't have that so much now. Things are more flexible, and you have got the ability to sort of move between things. That's why I said, you know, you shouldn't limit your options. You shouldn't just have a one-dimensional thing of, I mean, ambition or drive is a good thing, obviously, but if it blinds you to other options, then it can be a bad thing. I mean, there's probably people on your course who are, I am going to go into television. That's all I'm interested in doing. I'm not interested in doing anything else. I won't even look at radio because I want to be a TV personality, or I want to work in TV. But that sort of single-mindedness can be a strength, because it really means that you concentrate on that and you really put everything into it. But it's really useful to try different things, because otherwise you're limiting what you want to do. I mean, sometimes you've got a really sort of clear idea, or you think you've got a clear idea of what you want to do, but then if you try something else, you actually might find that is more interesting than you ever thought possible. I mean, drive and ambition is a good thing, but it can be too one-dimensional if you just really, really focus down on something and say you're not going to try anything else. And there's probably people on your course who are really interested in getting into television and say that's all they want to do. They don't want to do other things. They want to really focus on that. And that can be a strength. That can be a good thing to do, because it means that you really are sort of ambitious and focused. But it can also mean that you're cutting down lots of other opportunities and options. And so you should try as many different things as you can. And then if your really preferred career option doesn't work out, you've got experience in other areas, and as I say, you can try something and you might find that you're better at it, or it's more interesting for you than you thought.
Yeah, maybe, because sometimes when you discover you're good at something, you start liking it more, enjoying it.
Well, yeah, I mean, people always feel good about things that they feel confident doing and feel strong, that they're in a strong position to do. So if you get some experience in an area that you didn't think you would be interested in, and suddenly you realise, hey, I'm actually really rather good at this, I can do this, that gives you the confidence and you feel good about doing it. So.
Given the endless career choices the media field seems to provide them with, plenty of media undergraduates struggle with deciding what they want to do in the future. Do you have any advice for them?
Well, really, sort of going back to my previous answer, I think, is that you shouldn't cut down your options. You should try lots of different things. As you say, the media now, more than ever, has got so many different options, because the audience is fragmented so much and there are so many different avenues, YouTube and Twitter and all of the different social media options and multiple television programs, multiple digital radio sort of channels. There are just so many different avenues to go down that you shouldn't limit yourself to any one particular area. And if you get offered a work placement or an internship, even if it's in something you never thought that you'd be any good at, grab it, because any experience is better than no experience.
I feel like it's quite intimidating that there are so many careers and you don't know how to start. Like, you want to take an internship or something, what are you gonna do? Or choose?
Well, the thing is as well, you've got to play to your strengths. I mean, if you know that you are very good at speaking, you're very personable, you're very good at putting people at their ease and making them sort of share with you information, then that's a really good skill to have. And you know that you are good at doing that, but you're actually not very good at writing it down. You know, you're good at teasing people, the information out of people verbally, but when it comes to actually writing, that's not a strength. So that would point to the fact that you'd be far better off being a broadcast journalist, for instance, either TV or radio or YouTube or whatever. You'd be far better doing that than trying to get into print journalism, for instance, or into magazines. Because if you're not a strong writer, then you're going to struggle. So to an extent, while you've got to try lots of different opportunities if you get the opportunities, you also need to recognise your strengths and weaknesses and try and sort of play to those as best you can.
Do you consider this YouTube career kind of like being a YouTuber? Do you think you can actually, because you can't have an internship for it or anything, so you're taking your own risk, you're starting making videos, and if people are going to watch you, if not, so...
Well, I mean, it is a viable career, but you've got to be a particular sort of person to be able to do it. You've got to be entrepreneurial, because, as you say, you can't apply for a job as a YouTuber. You know, what you do is you just have to get up and do it yourself, and be confident that you've got enough interesting things to say that people are going to sort of watch your channel, come on board. Advertisers will start to take notice. 20-somethings are a notoriously difficult age group for advertisers to reach. So if they see somebody who has a YouTube channel that is attracting lots of 20-something females or males, or females especially, but males as well, you've all got spending power. And they can't reach you through conventional advertising, or it's difficult to reach you through conventional advertising. So once you build up that head of steam and that a big following, you will make a living from it, because brands will come on board and say, you know, Nike will come on board, or cosmetic companies will come on board and say, if you're doing makeup tutorials, use our makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
And
pays you, doesn't it?
Yes,
for bringing viewers.
Absolutely, yeah. But you've got to be a particular sort of person to do that. Not just in terms of the skills of being personable and people like you and people want to watch what you've got to say, but you've got to have that entrepreneurial spirit to start your own business, in effect, because that's what you're doing. And if you're not an entrepreneurial person, if you haven't got that sort of that skill, then you're going to struggle to do it.
This is it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for our interview.
Thank you. Cheers.